Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode. This is the finale. This video isn't the last one, but this is the finale of the Kantos Gym Leader Challenge, and it's time to tackle the Elite Four. I'm starting as Lorelei, the Ice Elite Four member, and as you can see on screen right now, I chose Lapras as my starter. I'm gonna explain why. So first, Lorelei's Ace, or her signature Pokemon, it's a toss-up between Cloyster and Lapras, depending on, are we talking about the anime, are we talking about the manga, are we talking about the original games, the remakes, the Let's Go, right? It depends, but it's always either Lapras or Cloyster. Now that doesn't mean these are the mons she uses the most, but these are like her signature ones. Now, balancing wise, I tried to do this run, I think 3 times, with Cloyster as my starter, or, well, it's a shelter. The issue was, I still have the footage, at least from one run. The issue was, even when I managed to get kind of far, I couldn't beat Lieutenant Surge. His Voltorb or Electrode, whatever you want to call it, it always outspeeds, no matter what. I don't play with EVs and IVs, but even if I were to use EVs and IVs, like max them out, he still outspeeds. Of course, we give Green Sister a kiss. Mwah. And why is that such a big issue? Okay, he outspeeds, but maybe you can do some strategizing, supersonic, put him to sleep, the works. No, he one-shots. So he always outspeeds, and he always sees the kill, which means it's impossible to beat him if you start with Cloyster. Well, it's okay, maybe if I started with an actual Cloyster, but I used a pre-evolution, right? The shelter. It's not possible. Now, you could argue, okay, then why not use other team members? Like, why not use Jinx? Why not use Slowbro, right? Because I tried to use the starter that's like synonymous with the specific gym leader or the Elite Four member, right? And at the end of the day, I'm doing these for, well, my own enjoyment, for my own sake, right? So after a couple of runs, I decided, okay, I do want to make this video. I don't just want to make a video where it's like, yeah, it's impossible. So I decided, okay, let me use her other signature mon as a starter. It's basically like if you do a Misty run, right? If you go by her first match, you would have to use a Starmie or Staryu, because that's her ace, right? If you go by the anime, it would be Psyduck or Golduck. You see what I'm saying? If you go by the rematch or the Yoto games, like, it depends what we're talking about. So, after not being able to beat Lieutenant Surge, like, it's not a strategy issue. You cannot beat him if you start with Cloyster, because he always outspeeds and he always one-taps. So I just decided, okay, I do want to finish these videos. I do want to make them. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. Because if you want to look at it from a logic perspective, right? You don't have a starter. She doesn't use Blastoise. She doesn't use Charizard. She doesn't use Venusaur. So you just cooked. So of course you have to modify the ROMs, right? Even if you trade over a mon, like, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. It's okay. So yeah, once I decided to start with Lapras, the run went smooth. I enjoyed it. I didn't need to stress out so much. I didn't need to like, fuck, I can't do this, I can't do that. Also, even with the Lapras, right, you only get access to your team members later on. So I need to get the Pokeflute so I can get both of the rods, right, in order to get my Jinx, in order to get my Cloyster, in order to get my... Yeah, no, for those ones I need to get the flute so I can get the rods. Jinx you get by trading the Poliwrath, right? But obviously I'm cheating them in, but I only use them once they are legal, basically. Except for the Lapras, because I needed a start. You understand. And for her Dugong and Slowbro, you need to be able to use Surf. So you have to beat Koga. So yeah. Lieutenant Surge. I didn't pay attention to the video, I apologize. But there's not much. The strategy is simple, it's just getting it off. I would like a Confuse Ray, I would like a Sing, but it's not necessary. I could just go for Body Slams. Either way is fine. Yeah, if you try to do this yourself and you want to do a Cloyster start, the way I beat Misty was with Secret Power and does he have Confuse? No, he has the shittier version, Supersonic. But you will have access to Secret Power and Supersonic. So you need to get the Secret Power Paralyze off. And then if you want to be safe, which is what I did, I used Supersonic to get the confusion, right? And then you there's like a high roll chance to 2-tap. So the first Secret Power, if it paralyzes, right, the second roll can kill. But if you want to play it safe, you can go for a Supersonic as well. But that's how I beat her, so it's just RNG. But Lieutenant Surge, like I said, not possible. With Lapras it is, because Lapras is chunky. Yeah, there you see me go a bit crazy because I was happy. Since this video is short, but this whole run, counting the failed tries, took me 4 hours because I tried to do it with the Cloyster. It didn't work. It didn't work. And then finally I decided, okay, I didn't want to do this because Lapras, if you have a Lapras from the start, right? Yes, the early game is very easy. You can still get killed, don't get me wrong. Lapras will go down. It's not like a insane monster, it will go down. I'm pretty sure you can also see it in the video, like sometimes I lose. Yeah, that one was a fail. Against Lieutenant Surge I also lost a couple of times. Yeah. So Lapras is strong, but it's not a carry. It's not, well, okay, later on it's very strong, but just because you have a Lapras from the start doesn't mean you're gonna steamroll the game. Unless, of course, you have a Lapras and a full team, which by my rule set in this challenge I don't have, so it kinda offsets it. Yeah, here you see me just show off that I got the rods, right? I do decide to just basically cheat in all of the encounters at this point. But I'm not using them, okay? I'm only using what I can at this point, which will be my starter, so Lapras, Cloyster, and Jinx. Because the Jinx you can trade when you catch a Poliwrath, and Cloyster you can just catch. Now the Seal and the Slowbro, you need to be able to use Surf. So first I gotta deal with Erika. I gotta deal with Koga, and then I can use those. So now I go to Koga. Boom, boom, and then I go for a Body Slam. Another Surf, another Surf. I miss, I hit, and I win. Okay, so now I'm allowed to use the what's the cave called? I have access to my whole team now. Okay, Rival, Ice Beam, Ice Beam. Go for Body Slam. I use Surf. Good enough. Yeah, Ice Beam, it learned it naturally. I didn't use the Ice Beam TM. Lapras learns it naturally. And a clean sweep. Next up, Giovanni. See how this goes. Ice Punch. Yeah, you will see me every now and then. I try to switch it up, so like to showcase more of the mons and not just go with a... I don't try to go always with the strongest, like the strategy I think is the strongest. I try to use my Pokemon. It's not a Nuzlocke, but sometimes I try to, you know, kind of play like one. Again, remember the last rule, like don't stress too much, just enjoy, okay? Okay, Lapras goes down. I bring out my Jinx. Excuse me. And that's Sabrina. Next up, Blaine. Obviously, Blaine against this team. yeah, I don't think it's a sweep, but yeah, I didn't realize, by the way, that my dugong had thick fat, so I should have brought out my dugong to showcase it a bit earlier than I do, but it's okay. Yeah, Arziman. Also, as you can see, I didn't just teach everyone serve, right? And everyone, you know, I try to keep it to like. Sometimes I do teach 2 mon serve, but I try to keep it, you know, 1 serve, 1 flamethrower, 1 thunder. You know, I'm not going overboard. Okay, Giovanni. The last time we'll see him in this run. Slowbro does some heavy lifting in this fight. So I decided, okay, he can rest now. I bring out Sheldon, serve, cleans up the rest. There you go. Now for the finish line. Rival fight. Ice Beam. Serve. Ice Beam. Body Slam, boom. Body Slam, boom. Thunderbolt. And Charizard, I go for a serve, he's on 1, another serve, he gets the burn off, but it doesn't matter, I win. Lorelei. The battle against ourselves. Thunderbolt. I need to keep in mind, like, PP usage. Gotta be like, a little bit careful. Okay, that's Dugong. Cloyster goes down to 1 Thunderbolt. Slowbro. Bring him down to half. He uses Yawn, I swap out. That kinda, it pisses me off. Like, is the AI dumb or does it know what you're doing? Because when he uses Yawn, I swap out, but he keeps going for Yawn. Like, as if he knows I'm gonna swap. Like, he reads my input. He sees me swap, so he afterwards decide to go for Yawn. It's a bit weird. Okay, her own Lapras comes out. I go for my own Yawn. I don't do any damage, so I swap to my Lapras. Thunderbolt, that's a good amount. Yeah, she full restores in the yellow. I thought they do it in the red. Okay. Yeah, now it's just a battle of attrition. I come out on top, her Jinx comes out. I get attracted. I try to get a couple of body slams out. I do swap out. I should have just stayed in, honestly, because this isn't a Nuzlocke. But yeah, I go for Icy Wind to drop the speed, another Icy Wind just to be safe, and then I go for Headbutts, and Leah cleans up. Next up, Bruno, who will also be the next video. I just go by order. Surf, takes down Onyx, I use Protect to see what it does, it goes for Sky Uppercut. I decide to swap the Pokey, he tanks it like a madman. Psychic, he uses full restore, Psychic, Hitmonchan goes down, Hitmonlee comes out, Psychic, brings him down to the red. I thought he's gonna heat again, he didn't, so yeah, I go down. Couple of serves, I go down. Yeah, I don't have a great answer against Machamp, so I just decide to drop his speed. Now I'll bring out Bell. I didn't teach a Psychic, so I only have Shadow Ball, but it doesn't do a lot. Now Lapras comes out, uses serves, but Lapras is chunky enough to survive. So, he cleans up. Next up, Agatha. Let's see how this one goes. I start with Sheldon. I go for Protect, see what it does. Toxic, okay. Yeah, it is what it is, I just gotta take it. But then she goes for Shadow Punch. I use a couple of serves. I'm confused, it is what it is. He goes down eventually. Aurora Beam brings Golbat down to yellow. I stay confused, nothing I can do. I go down. Ice Beam cleans up. Arbok comes out. Icy Wind, get the speed drop. Ice Beam. Doesn't do enough. Interesting. She heals up. I go for a rest and then, you know. Yeah, misplay by me, but it's okay. I should still be able to win. Ice Punch takes Arbok down. Shadow Ball from Gengar goes first, so my Jinx goes down. I bring out Tsukuyomi, my Lapras, Surf gets a crit, Gengar goes down. Haunter comes out, does a mean look, so I can't swap out. So I stay asleep for like, I think the whole 5 turns, it is what it is. I go for serves, I win. Close call though. Okay, next up Lance, and then it's on to the champion fight. Yeah, this run was very beautiful, I really enjoyed it. Like, just if you do this run, just start with a Lapras. Just start with Lapras. Okay, Dragonair, is this gonna be a sweep? Yeah, Lapras Swept. Damn, we don't even need a 6th one. Nice. Yeah, I even look at the camera like, okay, interesting. I honestly didn't expect that one. I thought Lapras damage wasn't that good. It's just chunky, but it deals a very good amount of damage. I know quad weak, but still. Okay. Leah goes for the Ice Beam. I go for another Ice Beam. He hits up. Ice Beam. Boom. Rhydon goes down. Executor comes out. I go for Icy Wind to slow it down. Another Icy Wind to slow it down even more. And then another Ice Beam. He goes down. Nothing I can do here, so I just decide to sack it. Bell comes out. Shadow Ball. Alakazam is at half, but he also can't do much to me, so I take it up with a second Shadow Ball. Gyarados comes out. I bring out Tsukiyomi. Thunderbolt. Boom. Gyarados goes down. Charizard comes out. I go for Surf. He brings me to yellow. He takes my Lapras down. I bring out Sheldon. What's gonna happen here? I don't think I can tank a hit. I go for Surf. Yup, I go down. Cloyster has very good physical defense, but special defense isn't that good. Okay, Pokey tanks. Goes for Psychic. He heals up. I put another Yawn. And I take him down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. So, Lorelei, if you start with Cloyster, you're fucked. If you start with Lapras, yeah, she can become champion, for sure, for sure. I'm pretty sure even Jinx, even if you start with Jinx, you can do it. Maybe even with Dewgong, I haven't tested it. Slowbro can probably do it. It's literally just Cloyster, because he's not, again, physical special split, right? He cannot tag. He will get outsped and one-tapped. So, you have to start with any of the other ones. Okay, team showcase. We got Leia, the Dewgong, or Leah, Thick Fat, Headbutt, Rest, Icy Wind, and Ice Beam. We got Belle, the Jinx, Oblivious, Ice Punch, Fake Tears, Lovely Kiss, and Shadow Ball. Sheldon, the Cloyster, Shell Armor, Aurora Beam, Surf, Protect, and Supersonic, or Aurora. Slowbro, Pokey, Oblivious, Strength, Yawn, Psychic, Flamethrower, and Tsukiyomi the Lapras. Yes, only 5 team members. Shell Armor, Surf, Body Slam, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam. Okay, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and don't get bullied. Take care, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye bye.